Hello everyone, and welcome to my first YouTube video and to my new model railway. I would probably start out by saying I'm a complete novice at both, so please forgive the quality of my YouTubing and the quality of my model railway. I had as a lot of people, I had a model railway as a child, and I managed to keep hold of those locomotives. They went into the loft as I grew up, and then hadn't done any model railway since. But then I was fortunate enough to have this garden room built this year. I'll just do a bit of a pan round. It's sort of got two rooms and some bifolding doors, sort of like a normal traditional garden room. But I thought it certainly would be perfect for a man den. And of course, if you have a man den, then you've got to have a model railway in your man den, haven't you? I wasn't allowed to have the whole of the building, so I've only got the one half of it, or the one room in this side. But it's a nice size. It's about nearly 3 meters square. So yeah, I thought I'd get the trains out of the loft and start building a model railway. And I started that about 2 months ago. And I started with this small area here, which I've been watching YouTube videos, as you do, sort of Budget Model Railway and Everhard Junction and people like that. And so in Budget Model Railway had done a series called My Perfect Shunting Layout, so I sort of tried to incorporate that here. And I thought, well, I want to model it on somewhere, so I chose a place called Chapel in Wakescombe, which I used to live by, which not only had a branch line but also had a historic sort of railway shunting yard. I think it's called East Anglian Railway Museum. I'll put a few shots of it in here. And incorporate that and try and sort of have a layout that's based on that, and that will allow me to run both modern trains and some historic and some of my older locomotives that you can just see on the wall there. And Chapel's also really famously known in Essex for its viaduct. It's got a huge brick viaduct, and again I'll show you some shots of the viaduct next to it. Really impressive. So I thought, well, I need to have a viaduct. Clearly I couldn't have one as big or as impressive, but I did look online and I found this one by Fowler, I think it was. So purchased that so I could have a viaduct next to my Chapel railway, just like the real thing. Really pleased with that. And then I thought, well, it'd be nice to actually not just have a shunting yard, but actually do an end-to-end. So Chapel is a branch line, it goes to Sudbury, so that I could do an end-to-end layout and run it around the room. Didn't really want it to dominate the whole room, which is why I've kept it slightly modest and quite narrow as it goes around the room, and you can see there that it now goes to the corner. And I've kept a sort of first and second radius curves, which I know does limit what I can do, but again, the plan was it was actually going to be a man den with a railway in it, as opposed to a complete railway room. But I've already got sucked in really, and started expanding it and adding to it. So it will probably end up as a railway room, although that wasn't the initial intention. So you can see here it comes round to this end where I was going to have a sort of a TMD and a little halt station and do the end to end. But then I got to here and thought, well, it'd be quite nice to actually be able to just run trains all the way round. So otherwise you do have to concentrate a lot when you're doing an end to end, driving your trains. So I thought all I need to do is go across the door. So I haven't watched quite a few videos on how to put in sections and lift in bits, and that I managed to do a dropout section, which actually just hinges down from that bit down to the left hand side there. And again, the initial intention was only to do it with one line, but when I built the one line, I thought, well, actually it'd be quite easy just to put a second loop in by continuing it. So as opposed to just having one loop and one end to end, I can actually have two complete loops and be able to run trains continuously both ways, as well as being able to run end to end if I wanted to. So that's what I did, and that brings it back round to the main Chapel station. So yeah, I've been expanding that over the last 2 months. I think I started 2 months ago to build it. As I say, started with the bit in front of you here. I used some old ply I had, which was a 12mm ply I already had in a garage, and built the frame, and then following the advice of Budget Model Railways, I had some felt roofing, which had quite a nice green finish to it. So I thought, well, that'd make a good track mat. So I've laid that down, and it sort of finished it off and makes it look almost finished even without having to do any of the scenics, which obviously I will do in time, but at least it has a bit of a finished look. And I built a few buildings, again, similar to the layout at Chapel. They've got a loco shed and a sort of country station there with, you can see, a nice canopy over. So yeah, got a few bits and had a few bits still from my previous railway in the loft as well, which are scattered around just to give some effect at the moment. When I was deciding to start this railway, I did start looking at videos and sort of heard about this DCC thing, but I thought I'd stick with the traditional DC because that's what all my current locos run on, and it's a lot more simple and that's what I know. So I splashed out on a new controller to supplement my old Hornby one. So I've got a lovely Morley vector controller, which is one of the crawler versions. So that'll hopefully help out with my shunting yard. And it does come with these wonderful walk-arounds as well, which is really good because I can actually reach, I can be right over this side of the room with my controller and be able to do stuff. So it's perfect for the size of room that I've got these for. So that's working really well. I do have one issue at the moment, and actually people watching might be able to give me some advice on that, which is for the shunting yard here. Obviously I've got these switchback areas, which wouldn't have got a feed, so I've had to put some extra feeds into them there, and there you can see. And I use I didn't just want the plug-in ones, and I'm not too good at soldering at the moment, so I just use the ones that come on fish plates that I bought online, and they seem to work really well. But for some reason this last section here is giving me a short. It doesn't seem to matter what I do with the points, and I'm getting a short. And I've even tried taking out maybe some of the wires. I've got the black to the back, which is what I've sort of read as recommended, so you can make sure you don't do that. But for some reason, something going on here that's connecting them up, so that when I get into the section, it goes to a complete crawl and almost won't move. Yeah. Whereas the first part works fine, and from my mind, it seems to be wired up the same. So yeah, still got something to work out there. I also thought, well, although I managed to get a lot of the old locos running to varying degrees, I didn't sort of know what the perfect, what good looks like. So I thought, well, I'll splash out on a nice little new version, which I've got this little Southern Terrier from Hornby. Runs beautifully smoothly. I'll just show you if you haven't seen it, but it's lovely and quiet and really controlled and smooth. So this is a perfect test locomotive for my layout to check everything and sort of show me, how the train should be running. And so I know it's if there is an issue, I can work out whether it's the locomotive or the actual layout itself. So that's done really well. And then I started now to actually put the caulking on top as well, to sort of provide the shoulders for the ballasting, and then I'll get onto ballasting eventually. Also, when I started, because I initially only put in this part here, I sort of set it about 95 centimeters, sort of waist height, which I thought was a sort of good height for operating, and built the little shelf underneath as well. But then as I extended it around the room, and I came around to the other side where my desk is, then there was an issue because the plug sockets that I had wired in above the desk were going to be sort of right where the actual line was going to run. So I did have to incorporate an incline to bring it up by about 7 centimeters over the length of the wall. Initially it was about a 4% incline, which is slightly steep, and some of the locomotives did struggle. So I sort of made it a little bit longer, so it started as soon as it comes out of the curve. And it's about a 3% incline now. And yeah, the older locomotives can make it up even with some rolling stock behind them as well. So that seems to be working okay now. And at the same time as doing that, I thought, well, another opportunity to put a siding in. So I kept a level piece coming off and built a siding. And then that goes above what is my beer fridge, my quite empty beer fridge at the moment. But yeah, so that'll go above that. And then I thought, to keep in keeping with it, the fact it is above my beer fridge, I'll probably do that as a sort of brewery or distillery, and there's some shunting sidings there as well. So as you can see, in true model railway form, I started small and I've only been doing it 2 months, and I've already extended it and put more track in and But I think I'm about where I want to be now. I think you've got to stop sometimes so I can actually get on with actually making it look like a model railway and get on with some of the scenics and that as well. So really pleased with it, having lots of fun. Been inspired by a lot of YouTube videos, so I thought, well, why not make a video myself? Hopefully someone might find it useful, and if not, at least it will record hopefully the evolution of my new model railway. So thanks so much everyone for watching. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up, and if you want to see more of my videos, then subscribe. And I think it'd be fitting that I end this video with some locomotives running around and some shunting and maybe to a bit of music. Thanks so much everyone, and hopefully you'll be watching again in the future.